Welcome to an Intro to LINQ. In this video, we're going to go over what is LINQ, what are the benefits of using LINQ, the LINQ architecture, and LINQ providers, what they are and what they do for us. So what is LINQ? LINQ stands for Language Integrated Query, and it is included with C# and the .NET framework. LINQ has built-in features that allows us to query any type of data source, whether they're objects, relational databases, XML, data sets, entities, any type of data source, LINQ allows us to query it. So why LINQ? Well, because LINQ offers one language for many different data sources. So a common problem in development has been querying the data because of the lack of a defined path and need to master multiple languages to both develop an application and interact with the database. If we're developing a .NET application that requires us to get data from different data sources such as a database, a list of objects, an XML document, previously we would have to understand the technologies and the syntax that is used for each one. To retrieve data from a SQL Server database, we would need to understand ADO.NET and Transact SQL. To retrieve data from XML document, we would need to understand XPath and XSLT. To retrieve data from objects in memory, we would need to understand how generics and arrays work. In comes LINQ. LINQ enables us to work with all of these different data sources within the code using a similar programming style and without needing to understand the various technologies and syntax of each. Here we have our LINQ architecture. We have our .NET application, our LINQ query, our LINQ providers, and our data sources. Now our .NET application can be written in any .NET supported programming language. The LINQ query is written in that language using a similar and easy to learn syntax. And there are several benefits of using the LINQ architecture. So the LINQ architecture benefits include a LINQ query that can be written in any .NET supported programming language. And this LINQ query works with various data sources using similar syntax. It provides IntelliSense and compile time error checking. And LINQ providers act as intermediaries and translators. The provider converts the LINQ query into a format that the underlying data source understands. For years, if you needed to access a relational database, you would pass SQL queries to the database management system through a program. SQL is the international standard for performing queries. LINQ uses what are called query expressions, which are similar to SQL queries. These expressions can retrieve data from a variety of sources, not just a database. As we see here, we have LINQ to XML, LINQ to SQL, LINQ to objects, LINQ to entities, and LINQ to dataset. LINQ expressions have a different syntax than SQL, and that expression is built into C#. LINQ queries can still be used in different contexts, however, because of libraries called providers. Now, a LINQ provider is simply a set of classes that employ LINQ operations. Through providers, programs can interact with different data sources to sort, group, filter, and do other things to the incoming data. These providers, such as the LINQ to objects, are included in the .NET framework. So here we have our .NET application, which can be C#, Visual Basic, J#, or other supported .NET languages. We have our LINQ query, and then we have LINQ providers, and the following LINQ providers are included with C# and the .NET framework. We have LINQ to XML, which converts an XML document to a collection of XElement objects. A local execution engine can then query the objects. Then LINQ to SQL. This provides a runtime infrastructure for managing relational data as objects without losing the ability to query. Then LINQ to objects. This allows .NET developers to write queries over a collection of objects. LINQ to entities enables programmers to write queries against the entity framework conceptual model using Visual Basic or C# or any other supported .NET programming language. And then LINQ to dataset. This makes it easier and faster to query over data in a dataset object by allowing programmers to write queries from the programming language instead of using a separate query language. Now, these LINQ providers act as intermediaries and translators for our data sources. So for example, say we were doing a link to SQL. If we were linking to SQL, instead of having to go in and write a SQL statement and understand the ADO.NET and transact SQL, we could write a quick LINQ query. That LINQ query would then be sent to the provider, which would, behind the scenes, create a SQL query for us dynamically, and then query the database with that SQL query. It would bring back the data that we're requesting without us actually having to know the transact SQL and the ADO.NET. There are other LINQ providers, and they are more specialized, so they'll offer interaction with like a specific data format or a specific website. We have LINQ to Twitter, LINQ to Google, LINQ to Amazon. Go check out codeplex.com and search for LINQ providers. And that is the end of Introduction to LINQ. Remember, geek is chic.